with the Burning Limb Foundation. I wanted to take a few minutes to catch up to speed on what we've been doing, share a little bit about who we are, what we do, and then I wanted to share some exciting news with you about some of the things that we have going on. So with that being said, let me just start with who we are. So the Burning Limb Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is really just to help, in a nutshell, those people with CRPS or chronic pain. The world that we live in, specifically those people that suffer from complex regional pain syndrome, one of these terrible rare diseases that nobody's ever heard about. I'll share my story with you here in a little bit, but so in a nutshell, our mission really is to provide funding for those people who are searching for sort of outside the box treatment programs that will help them get well. And so we really want to be the funding conduit for people who are, again, looking for treatment that typically isn't covered by insurance, mostly non-allopathic. The traditional method of treating this is, things like spinal cord stimulators, giving you opiates, a variety of different methodologies, noradrenate, ketamine, some of these other invasive or drug-based programs. We really felt the need to find a way to help others, find their way to treatment. So that's ultimately what we're about. I mean, big picture, I would love to see us grow big enough so that we can essentially write a check for the entire treatment costs for the people that we come into contact with. And right now we're so small that, we're playing small ball. We're dreaming big, thinking big, but playing small. So ultimately right now we like to come alongside our prospective grant recipients and help them with seed money in their GoFundMe accounts or things like that, or even just providing an offset to their treatment costs. So that's a little bit kind of about what we're about. I mean, ultimately we're here to serve those people who've been afflicted with some terrible illnesses. So let me just talk a little bit about my story, and I'll give you the elevator version there because that will tie into, I think, the reason why I'm affiliated with this terrible disease. It certainly wasn't something that that I wanted to that I wanted to get involved with from the beginning. But so my story goes like this: in 2015, I had an ankle injury. I developed a blood clot from that, and then subsequently had a bilateral pulmonary embolism. So I was kind of dealing with a couple of things at once, and then all of a sudden I was diagnosed with CRPS, again, with complex regional pain syndrome. Little did I know I had the fourth horseman come along, and I had something called bilateral May-Thurner syndrome, another one of these rare illnesses that I never would have expected to have had. So the four horsemen for me, CRPS. Let me just describe that. CRPS for me is something like someone pouring hot lava on my foot, hitting me with an electric cattle prod, and then having a bag of bees attached to my foot. People, this just is unrelenting. It does not go away. It is with us for 24/7. It is unbearable. Sort of the comorbid syndromes or symptoms are simply things like this. Tremendous brain fog. You have allodynia, inability to sleep, sensitivity to light, sound, vibration. All of these things that are disruptive to having any kind of a life, and that just doesn't include the pain. Things like gastroparesis, where it becomes difficult for us to eat, for us to drink. To give you some idea, within 6 months, I really had very little ability to eat or drink without significant pain. So there's a reason why this is called the suicide disease, and that's kind of where I wanted to go today, is to mention that. And by June of 2016, I sincerely, and this is, this is kind of hard to talk about. I was at the point where I was considering suicide. Had I not met Dr. Katinka at the Neurologic Relief Center, I probably wouldn't be here today. So, Dr. Katinka, I know you're watching. Thank you. We love you. You're my angel. So, they call it the suicide disease for a reason, and that's part of the news that I wanted to share, today. And I found out last week, and this has really been weighing heavy on my heart. I've been really unable to do a lot of fundraising because of my ongoing battle with May-Thurner syndrome. By the way, I wanted to do a huge shout out to my interventional radiologist, Dr. Patricia Thorpe in Phoenix. She has been an angel for me, getting me back on the road to recovery from that. At any rate, that has really prevented me from going out and doing some heavy fundraising and really going full steam with raising funds and helping others. I've tried to do what I could over time, but the events of last week has really been a prompt for me. It was sort of the proverbial tap on the shoulder, to say, we really need to take some action. And so what I wanted to share with you really is the fact that, we lost another young CRPS warrior last week. Her name is Elle Seiden, and she was 15 years old. She'd only had CRPS for 3 years. So I just want to say, my deepest condolences to her family. Her loss, or their loss, hopefully will prompt us to be able to reach out and touch other people, so that they don't have to endure the same tragedy. So let me talk about the news. Out of tragedy, oftentimes, we see beautiful things happen. Certainly that's been my story. The seeds and the genesis of the Burning Limb Foundation was really, derived from my trials and tribulations with chronic illness. And so, out of this pain from the family of the Seidens, we've decided to start the Elle Seiden Memorial Grant, really specifically designated for young women, so that they can find treatment and that they can know that they're not alone. So we're excited about this, creation. And in fact, I'm even more excited to say that we have our first 2 recipients. Long story short, I spoke to a young lady last week, and if you could hear the fear and the tremor in her voice, the sadness, the isolation, the pain, the struggle that she was going through and continues to go through, you'd understand kind of why I do what I do. Megan has a husband that serves in our military. So I couldn't think of, a better recipient for the first Elle Seiden Memorial Grant. And so Megan has an opportunity to start the clinic tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So we're really excited about that. And, I know, Megan, you are going to be a bell ringer. We are so grateful for Dr. Katinka and her staff. We know you're going to be in good care there, so we're just tickled, for that. So congratulations, Megan. We're excited for you. And then we actually have a second recipient, and her name is Katie. She is starting her second week at the clinic. She is just a little firecracker. She has such a beautiful spirit for such a young person. Just starting college, has a tremendous life ahead of her, but she's been afflicted with this terrible disease. So I couldn't think of 2 better people that will be the initial recipients of the Elle Seiden Memorial Grant. So we are excited about that. I know, and here's the thing, you see, people, when you plant the seeds, the fruits that grow from that are going to be tremendous. I know for a fact that these 2 young ladies are going to have a tremendous amount of impact as they get well. And that's ultimately what we just want to see. We want to see people get well. So we're excited to announce that. And that was the big news. So for our first two recipients of the L. Seiden Memorial Grant, congratulations. We look forward to being able to do many more of these. So I just wanted to announce that, and I couldn't think of a better way of honoring L. Seiden's memory than to introduce or have the opportunity to have an impact on a couple of these young ladies' lives. So thank you all, especially the friends, families, coworkers of the Seiden family. We're grateful for that. There's like PCIA, Ultimate Software, RHR International, or some of the corporations that are affiliated with Jason Seiden and his work. So we're really excited about this. We know that this will be the best way to honor her memory. So that being said, that's big news. So again, huge shout out to Dr. Katinka and the Neurologic Relief Center. I'll put the information down below, but one of the things I'd love for you all to do is go to their Facebook page, the Neurologic Relief Center. Check out some of the videos, see the magic that is happening there. And I say magic, it truly is an amazing thing to watch the body heal itself. I used to think it was voodoo, but I went there with an open mind, and and look, here I am, now in remission for over 2 years. So that's the first thing. Thank you, Dr. Katinka, for all you do. And again, the staff there are incredible. It's just a beautiful place of healing. And then secondly, you'll see I'm wearing my Burning Limb t-shirt. We're going to do a donation drive here over the next couple of weeks. So I'll put information down below, which has, if you want to order one, we'd love to do that. A small portion, of the proceeds, will go towards, towards financing, somebody else's opportunity to get well. And then lastly, you'll see probably over the next 2 weeks, my brother has been so generous to donate a piece of his artwork. He's a geologist and also an artist, and he makes these beautiful sculptures out of unique rocks. So I have a water feature that, piece of artwork that we'll be auctioning off to raise some funds. So I just wanted to thank my brother. You can see his other work at www.bunniesonfire.com. That's right, Bunnies on Fire. I'll put the link in the description. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of you that have donated and contributed. We are so grateful for the opportunity to serve you. I mean, ultimately, that's what we do here. We rely on funding from you. So that we can make our grants, but we are so grateful for the opportunity to serve everybody. We just want to wish, everybody at the clinic and those people who are suffering from CRPS, an opportunity to get well. Let me just, make one more plug. We're going to be partnering with the Ferocious Fighters, who is another nonprofit that I had a chance to speak with them yesterday. For those children under 21, we're going to be pairing up and providing some resources for them. But I couldn't think of another fantastic organization such as them to work with. So lots of exciting things to happen. Keep in touch for opportunities. I'll make some information available on the website if you are seeking a grant. It's a pretty simple process. We have a waiting list, but just shoot me an email, and we'll be happy to talk about it. All right. So thanks so much for watching, you all, and have a great Sunday.